enough with the old man talk. Let's get into the conversation with our guest, Tawny Patrick, Sack and Stone team at Seven Gables. Glad to have you with us.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Millennials. So we get to go with a millennial perspective today. Millennial talking about millennials.
Yes, I am a millennial.
And you're out there helping. Do you help mostly millennials, or do you help? What's your audience look like? Your
I
clientele?
do love helping millennials, and I do help a lot of millennials, but I'm not just millennials.
Okay. So one of the things that I saw in the notes from this for the show, millennials only 14% are homeowners.
Yeah, we've
Why?
gotten a very late start in the home buying journey, and
Any idea why?
a big part of that is millennials have a lot of student debt,
Okay.
and that's really. But it's not just the student debt. It's also millennials have just started a lot of things later. We're getting married later. We're having babies later. Our timelines have pushed back a lot.
Okay.
So we're starting the home buying process a lot later. But right now, millennials are really driving the housing market. The majority of home buyers right now are millennials.
Really?
Yeah, 43% of home buyers right now are millennials.
That's a big percentage.
Yeah, and also the majority of people refinancing right now are millennials. Like 32%.
Wow. Okay. 32. So I wonder now, why is that? Do you have any idea why they'd be?
We've waited a long time, and now we're ready to be homeowners.
Yeah, but the thing that I question a lot is, if you look at 32% are refinancing, they've got to be well. There's one of two issues. Number one, they're refinancing out of either a down payment assistance loan,
potentially, yeah,
or an FHA's lower down payment loan to get rid of that mortgage insurance or the newer lower mortgage insurance. But you wouldn't think that somebody would want to be refinancing if they bought a home 3 years ago.
Yeah,
interest rates were significantly lower 3 years ago than they are today. So why
yeah, I'm not sure about why they're the most refinancing. I'm sure, as you know, refinancing is probably not super popular right now.
Right.
But for some reason,
maybe that's because they're smart. So this might be the theory. They're refinancing to take money out of. If they bought 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they've probably got a lot of equity.
Yeah,
right? Because of what's happened over the last few years. Right. So maybe they're refinancing to take equity out to buy that next house because of the D's. Diamonds, diapers, diplomas.
True. And some of them they could have. I'm a millennial. I bought my first house 10 years ago. So some of these millennials, the oldest millennials are in their 40s now. So they could have bought their house 10, 15 years ago.
Okay. So there might be some time in that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now with the millennials in your sphere, are they keeping their first houses, or are they selling them to buy the next one?
Most are selling them to buy the next one.
Yeah. Why?
I know. Well, Southern California is an expensive area. I think a lot of them just need to take that equity out to buy the bigger house. But because a lot of them are selling their, condos, and they're trying to get into single family homes.
Okay.
And they're trying to keep their payments down as well. So they're trying to put in lots down so they can keep their
bigger down payment.
Yeah, bigger.
Okay, so here's the issue right here, because I'm an old man, and most of the elder people that are listening right now, you probably have heard this. You're probably too young to say it yourself. But we look at it and we say, boy, if I had just kept that very first house that I bought in 1983 or 1984.
I think that all the time about my first house.
Right.
Why did I sell it?
Exactly. And I bet it's appreciated a lot.
Oh, it's double what it was.
Double what it was.
Yeah, it's double what it was when I sold it.
Okay, so let's think about this concept. Had you been able to refinance it and take cash out, do you think it would be on a positive cash flow today?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
so you wouldn't be subsidizing that payment, and you'd be renting it to somebody who's making the payment for you.
Yeah.
And pocketing some extra money.
Yep, totally.
And that could have potentially given you enough money to buy your next house.
Yeah.
Right? Because your next house probably could have been purchased with an FHA loan, if not a conventional 3% down.
Oh yeah. If someone can hold on to that house, like, I'm always in favor of holding on to it. But
We just have to get that message out.
Yeah.
Right? Explain those numbers, how, you think about something like this. And I've talked to millennials on the broadcast before, and this whole concept, keep that house. And if you're, by the time you're 40, maybe you have 3, 4, 5 houses that you're living in one and cash flowing the others, making a positive cash flow. By 50, you're basically retired.
Yeah.
If you want to. Why not? Think about this. It's all about, we've talked about this many, many times on Ron Siegel Radio. How about that game plan? So we're going to continue our conversation. Tawny Patrick is with a Sack and Stone team at Seven Gables. Diane put a message on here, Tawny, that we can chat about. But with a growing family and the need for more room, millennials move out of their condo and move up to a single family residence. She agrees with you. Well, something that makes total sense to me. But the issue that I have there, I get you have to move out, because I bought a small condo my first home was a 2-bedroom condo, and I shouldn't say this, but I will. It was right below Orange County Mining Company. We were just out of college. We were still partying a lot. It was great because you can go to the mining company, sit in the bar, and roll down the hill right into our house. We didn't have to drive at all. It was pretty good. The issue was, it was a 2-bedroom condo. I bought it with a fraternity brother. Not going to be building a family there.
Yeah.
But if I had kept that house that we paid, I think $160,000 or $170,000 for, I think that condo is probably in the $500,000-$600,000 range, maybe $700,000 now.
Yeah.
Would have been good. Now, we needed that, but did we need to sell is the question. Or could we take money out of it and buy?
Yeah, I'm working with a buyer right now who's trying to do just that. They own a house already. They want to buy another for an investment property. And so they're thinking about taking money out of their home to buy that second property. But we got to make sure that the numbers work for them.
Well, that's the whole thing, is it's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to look at it, but the quicker you can do these things. Now, I'm going to throw this out there because that's what I do. See, what I always look at is say, do a refi on your existing property because you're living there, and that makes it a primary residence loan. Now, go and find your next bigger home and buy that. Hopefully it's, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. You got to do, this is all called planning, right? You're doing it down the road, because if you buy a new, bigger house for you and your family, what is that? It's a primary residence.
Yeah.
Better loan. Right now, your first loan, hopefully it's cash flowing, or even if it doesn't cash flow, but it's close, doesn't that still make sense?
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're short $100, $200 a month, okay, you don't like it, but that's going to only be for the first year or two.
Yeah.
But you're getting good appreciation. This is Southern California.
Yeah.
Right. We're not dealing with the national numbers on appreciation. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I look at it and say, okay, what city were you looking in? What city is your client looking in?
They're looking in Fountain Valley.
Fountain Valley. Let's just see if I can quickly pull Fountain Valley up on my report card and see, because I know that in Orange County, California, I know you're not all in Orange County, we are, but in Orange County, California, our property appreciates here at about 5.35% over the last 60. What do you know? Well, Fountain Valley is about the same, 5.35% appreciation over the last 63 years. No, I'm not that old. I wasn't there then. But it forecasted 4.49%.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Right? That's a good deal right there. So great time to buy investments.
Yeah. And a lot of people, that's how they build their rental property portfolios. They live in a house, they have that primary residence loan, they live in it for a few years, rent it out and buy the next one. And they just keep doing that over and over again.
And you can do that, I mean, as many times as you want. Can someone have 2 different states and still get a decent loan, one a vacation home? Absolutely. Yes. Whoever Facebook user, hey, if you want us to know who you are, StreamYard.com/Facebook, StreamYard.com/Facebook, and we can actually talk to you. But yeah, can someone have 2 homes in 2 different states and still get a decent loan, one a vacation home? Yes, we call it a second home, but yes, you can absolutely do that. Not a problem at all. And, maybe you want to Airbnb it and call it a business down the road. We're not the vacation home police, but yeah, you can do something like that. And there's some good tax advantages and you get the appreciation levels. So that is doable. So let's continue our conversation here. We got a few items to chat about. What's the biggest topic in all of technology right now?
Oh gosh, it's got to be Chat GPT.
Okay, so can I use that in any way in real estate?
Of course, yeah. We're already using it in our team so much. I mean, you can do everything from writing your property descriptions with it. You can write blog posts, you can write video scripts, you can do all kinds of things. But I will say that you do need to be careful with it because this technology is already spreading. Everyone's using it. And search engines like Google can actually pick up that you're using AI to write your stuff, your blog posts.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Really?
So the stuff that is purely being written with AI, it's not going to be pushed as much.
Wow.
More authentic human written content is what is going to be pushed further. So if you're hiring an agent that is just using ChatGPT to write all of your stuff in marketing, you're not potentially going to be getting your house seen by as many people as if you weren't.
That's fascinating.
So,
okay.
But there's a way around that. So there's
always a way.
There's always a way because that's still good technology. There's a place for it, and we need to be utilizing it. But there's sites like there's blog checkers that you can put the content into the blog checker, and it's going to analyze it and see how likely it is to have been written by AI. And if it'll come back and tell you, hey, this is obviously written by AI. You can go back and have ChatGPT rewrite it and then put it back in and keep checking it until it can until Google can no longer identify that it has been written by AI.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
This whole technology is, thankfully Josh is a millennial, so he can actually take care of all this stuff for us because I'm an old man. You need to have, if you're in business, you got to have a millennial on your team.
Oh yeah. But I'm not even that technologically savvy. Gen Z is going to blow us out of the water. But yeah, millennials do a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So are Gen Zs going to get into buying houses sooner than the millennials?
I think so. I think they're very entrepreneurial. I think they're going to, they're always looking for creative ways to make money. And I think that they're already looking at how they can get into invest, whether it's, creating Airbnbs or rental, they're looking for creative solutions into the job market already.
So do you think that, are they going for the traditional jobs? Or are they going with all of the gig jobs?
I think they're going to be more into the gig jobs.
Okay.
Because I think they probably don't really, it seems like they like to be their own boss more.
So they're going to have to really do a little bit more planning to buy a house to be able to qualify.
Yeah, potentially.
There's a whole issue right there. But you know something? Start early. You were talking earlier that the millennials got a late start.
Yeah.
And now they're catching up and realizing. But what is your thoughts? You're out there with buyers. What are the buyers saying in Orange County now? Are they excited about buying? Are they leery about buying?
Well, the buyer sentiment had been improving over the past few months, but in February it actually dropped.
Okay.
That dropped like 5%. So I think, and that could correlate to the interest rates rising, how they did last month. So we'll see how it goes this month. But I think people are feeling unsure right now. So they really do need a trusted advisor to help walk them through the process and be able to really look at their specific situation and finances and know what's the best time for them and how they can make, because most millennials, Gen Z, most people in general, they want to be homeowners. Okay. That is a dream of theirs. And so they want to make this a reality, and we have to help them come up with creative solutions to be able to make it a reality.
Okay, so when we come back, I want to chat about your process then. So question came in about further on our conversation before. Second home of someone between two states, California, Arizona. After divorce, if a person gets the home and wishes to rent it out for your room. So here's the issue on this. If you're planning on moving, if you have a house, say in California, and you just took out a new loan, it's your primary residence, wonderful. Now you say, okay, I got divorced or whatever other reason, you're moving to Arizona. I'm out of California, whatever the reason is. and you are physically moving and you're going to be moving into a new residence in the other state, it's going to be your primary residence. That's where you're going to be living most of the time. That is a primary home loan. Even though you had a primary, you're moving, that's now your primary, no problem at all. So you can just continue doing that. Yes, you can rent out the departing property. You don't have to get a new loan to rent that out. Just the bottom line right there. So financial planning, that's the whole issue right there. Could you do it as an Airbnb? Yes. Could you rent out just rooms in the departing property? Yes. No issues right there. So it's all, again, financial planning. Continue our conversation. Tawny Patrick, Sack and Stone team at Seven Gables. So let's chat a little bit. We've been talking about, buying that new house, maybe even buying the first house. Are you the Gen Z? Are you the millennial or an old person? And you want to talk to Tawny about this. What's the process here, Tawny? You just, someone could call us at 800-306-1990. I put them in touch with you, and all of a sudden you're out showing property.
I mean, we could, but
okay, there's a better way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about planning. I love it when I hear people say that, oh, I'm thinking about buying a house in like 1 to 2 years, because the farther out we know, the more we can help them plan. Because the two things that I find that prevent people from purchasing a home most often are the credit and not having enough of a down payment. So I would hate for someone to wait those 1 to 2 years, get to, all right, now I'm ready to buy a house, and they realize, oh no, your credit's actually not good enough to buy, or you actually could have been saving those 2 years and you didn't save enough, so now you can't buy a house.
Just for lack of knowledge.
Just not knowing. Yeah, I would talk to someone just the other day. They were like, oh, I've got $10,000 to put down. Like, can I buy a house in Huntington Beach? I was like, no, probably
on the water
not.
Too, right?
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But if we can catch it, if we can help them plan, and working with a lender for, putting together a plan, this is how much you need to save, this is what your credit needs to be, then we can, when they are ready, then we can help them actually get to where they want to be.
How many times do you find when people come the other way with you, and they come in and they say, Tawny, I want to buy a house in a year or two, and you start looking at their situation, and they could buy today if they wanted to.
Yeah, we see people like that as well. And
both
then
sides.
It's like, it's like, oh, you actually do you want to buy it now? They're planning on renting for the next year. It's like, why do you want to rent for the next year?
What's your purpose for doing that?
Yeah, why? And that's why when we do sit down with a buyer, we've got a very extensive consultation process that we'll go through where we can help them, discover, okay, why are you buying a house, or why do you want to buy a house? And what is your goal? Are you thinking about being in this house for the next couple years and then renting it out? Is this your forever dream house? We need to know their goals so that we can help them plan that process and what they need to do.
And therein it is right there in a nutshell, the difference between somebody that's trying to sell a property to get a commission and somebody that's trying to help a family accomplish their goals. And oh, by the way, we do it for a living, right? A big difference right there.
Yeah.
When you're going through this consultation process, you're looking to say, okay, is it the forever home that's got to have the 4 bedrooms and the white picket fence and the pool, or is it a stepping stone?
Yeah.
Right. You need to understand those things, and that doesn't happen. Now, I know that sometimes people will get in a hurry, but you're talking about Huntington Beach, so you've got price ranges in Huntington Beach all over the map.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have I don't know, $600,000-$700,000. Is there $600,000 houses in Huntington Beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about pretty small condos, but
okay.
Yeah.
So you got a $600,000 starter home then maybe, and you've obviously got $6 million homes,
mm-hmm.
right? You've got them both there. So the question becomes, what do you want to be and where do you want to be? How do we get there? How do we accomplish our goal? And so here's the question I'm going to throw at you. What's the most expensive home you've showed to somebody? Just a round ballpark.
$4 million.
$4 million. What's the cheapest home you've showed somebody?
$100,000, probably. Maybe $140,000.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very, very dumb question. Which property was nicer?
Oh, definitely the $4 million home.
Okay, so what I've done is we've gone to the extremes, right?
Yeah.
So now let's bring that down to a little bit more of reality. Let's say that you've got you show someone a $600,000 house and an $800,000 house. More often than not, which is the nicer property?
Yeah, probably 800,000.
Now, if I have a $600,000 budget and I go out there and think that I can afford 800,000, when I get to reality, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and expectations for new buyers are usually off.
Right? So the bottom line here is you got to go in and sit down with Tawny, have the initial consultation. I'm sure it's in an office or a conference room at some point. Could be at Starbucks, doesn't matter what it is. Right? So the bottom line is you have that consultation. You go through the process with our friends at Geneva Financial and get pre-approved and pre-underwritten so that when you go out and you start looking at a property, you can write a same as cash offer. The bottom line there is now when Tawny's negotiating for you, she's got a stronger leg right there to go out and say, you know something, you can hit. Everybody else is coming in here and they're pre-qualified, they're pre-approved. We're pre-underwritten. We have no loan contingency. And we can close in 12 days, 13 days, whatever the number is. The bottom line is you can negotiate a better transaction for you by having these things in place, these tools in place. So you want to give her a call, set that consultation, get your financing in order. If you think that you're that person that's 12 to 18 months, rsrmoney.com. You can sit there and play around with all your numbers as long as you want. We've got the credit sanitizer. The team there will help you if your credit scores are low. Lots of strategies there. But get in the game, right? That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to win the game of life if you don't get in the game of life. And set a plan.
Yep.
Right? The bottom line is set a plan.